116th Hotline.
It's your girl, Sadie.
It's Valerie.
And this is Sutana. Welcome back to 116th Hotline. And we are a trio of
sisters.
And we like to talk about anything.
I was waiting for Sadie to say that.
We like to talk about anything and everything on this podcast, not only for us, but for you guys, the listeners / viewers. If this is your first time, welcome. If this is not your first time, welcome back.
We have a lot of episodes to catch up on.
Yes, we are in season 2. It's been an awesome year so far. And, you know, we're just getting into, like, I think the height of our podcast.
Honestly.
Yeah.
So I hope you like the little change of scenery that we got going on behind us, our new little setup. As we evolve and change, so will our setup, and only for the better. So make sure you guys stay tuned. And we did have a viewer / listener submit a request. And what was that?
So
request?
that's what I'm going to be looking on if I'm looking down here.
Okay.
So first of all, I just want to say thank you for sending in a request. We appreciate any type of love and support.
Yep.
I think any type of interaction we really appreciate. And so for you to even take your time out of your day to send us a request, it means a lot.
Yes.
And we appreciate any type of request, so that way we know exactly what our listeners and viewers would love to hear and would love to hear our opinions about. We're just 3 girls living life talking, and so we appreciate that you even consider our opinions and our values and all of that.
That, like, I mean so much.
Yeah,
It
really.
does.
Like, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like we're actually like besties with our listeners because
yes.
And honestly, okay, the Spotify Wrap just came out. I need to show you guys after
Yes.
this. It's so cute with how many people have us as like our number 1 podcast. And you know, if you stay tuned, you're gonna see why.
Yeah,
You know?
Okay, so a little bit dabbling into the request. The first question is, can you ladies do an episode on friendships, favoritism in friend groups, and healthy / unhealthy expectations for friends? So that's kind of the first category that we kind of want to dabble in.
What was it? Friend group?
Favoritism?
Favoritism in
Okay.
friend groups and healthy / unhealthy expectations for friends.
Sadie, do you want to start?
Sure. Okay, so as in favoritism, I feel like me personally, like speaking from like if in the view of have I ever felt like I favored, right? Like I favored.
Well, I think you can go either or. Like
Either or, yeah.
Like, have you felt like you favoritism somebody out the friend group, or have you felt like other people have favoritism people over you?
Okay, yeah. So I'll do the first one where I personally don't think I have ever tried to pick out like favorites from all of my friend groups. Like I love all of my friends equally, and they all have played like a very huge role in my life.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty equal. I mean, at least that's how from my point of view. I don't know if they feel the same way. Clearly they do, because I mean we're all still friends today. So,
or else you would not be
or
friends.
else I'll not be friends with them. But from the other viewpoint, when I was younger, yes, I had, because I grew up, with only brothers. I never had any sisters or friends, so I really kept my girlfriends really close to me as a little girl. I feel like, and yes, I did used to have the mindset of like, oh, so she's hanging out with her. No, she's my best friend. Like, why are you hanging out with her? You know?
She can't do that. Yeah.
She can't do that. Yeah, like trying to take control over somebody else. Honestly, I think that's what it was.
Okay.
So, I mean, even though that was back when I was like a little kid back in elementary, I feel like I did kind of carry some of those traits with me as I grew up into an adolescent and into an adult. But I didn't make it like very obvious, and it wasn't like very. It was. I didn't.
So you kind of like hid it.
Yeah,
well, I guess like
hid it in a way.
To
myself. Yeah, I didn't make it like, I didn't just put it out there like, hey, why are you hanging out with her? Or like I didn't act like negative and bitter towards the 2 other people or whatever the case may be. But I did like question myself. Like I was like, sometimes I would think about, oh well, they didn't invite me. Okay, cool. But then I brushed it off very easily. So I think
like you didn't let it linger.
Like I didn't let it linger. You know what I mean? So in a way, I almost feel like that if you were to feel like that, if you have strong feelings about like favoritism wise, then maybe it's more of like an inner self thing, like an internal insecurities where like, why are you feeling like that? You know, like, I mean, is it because like you said earlier, you feel like you're not worthy enough to be hanging out with them or whatnot? So, I don't know. Maybe it's more of an internal thing. I don't know. What do you think? Have you ever experienced?
I think like for me personally, I'm miss saying that. Me personally, I have never felt like I favored like other people over someone else, and like if I ever did, it was like unintentional. Very, very unintentional. Just because I feel like I know how easy it can get to make someone feel like they're not worthy of something, and I hate that feeling, and I know that feeling. So if I have ever done it, it was unintentional. And I think that's something to think about too. Sometimes people, if you feel like they're hanging out with other people and not favoritizing you, like it may be unintentional. Like, you know, you never know. Like, not everything has to be about you. And I'm sorry if that sounds mean, but like really, like not everything has to be about you, and not everybody is trying to get at you. Like the world is not trying to be against you. Like, so if you feel like there's favoritism in a friend group, like it's not even gonna be like that. Like, maybe you're making it a bigger deal.
It's not what it seems to you.
It's not what it seems, and I feel like maybe you're making it a bigger deal than what it really is. But that's my take on favoritism.
I think. What are your personal experiences with favoritism?
For you personally,
I think for me, like, I'm not gonna lie, I have had, as like a healed toxic person, I'm not gonna lie, I have been that person where I'm like, damn, why the fuck is that bitch hanging out with her? Like, you know, like
feeling bitter,
like bitter,
like you're supposed to be my friend.
Like bitter and like negative Nancy.
Hey, you respect the honesty. Okay.
You know, hey, you know what? You got.
It's because she's no longer like that. That's why she's able to say it.
I love that for you. Congratulations on moving on up in life.
She graduated.
But it's like, you know, like I feel like in those moments, I really felt like bitter, and really like it is like inner insecurity, like Sadie said earlier. Like it really has to do a lot with how secure you feel within yourself and in your friendships. Like not only just the inside of you, but also how secure you are in your friendships. And it's like, I think you have to be able to know and be aware that how you're acting and how you're feeling. And also like take that moment to reflect on how you're truly feeling. Sometimes it's not even about them, like Val said. Maybe you're just making the most
in your own head.
Something.
Dude, your mind sometimes be your worst enemy,
and you have to be aware of that. You have to be aware, because if they are your true friends, like both of them, right, you would not feel bitter like how I used to feel. You'd be like, dang, okay, like Sadie said, like, dang, it sucks you guys didn't invite me, but like, you know, it is what it. Maybe you guys are busy, or just don't let it linger. And you know, I would just say, like, for a little bit of advice, like, just do some self-reflection before you even go outside and try to be like, hey, why did you guys not invite me? Or like, you know, like, because honestly, that inner like thought process will probably help you a lot before you go out there and try to get some confirmation from the outside. So really do some self-reflection and digging deep within yourself, and ask yourself, am I really hurt because I'm insecure myself and in my friendships, or am I really hurt just because I think that they're out to get me? Like it's probably not even that big of a deal.
So how did you get over that, like feeling like that whenever you, or what did you do? What were some?
I didn't.
Ooh, hey,
did you do any self-reflection?
I'm telling you, I did not realize that until after like
years
passed. You know, the friendships had already like severed and everything. Then it's like when you do the self-reflection. So I'm telling you now, like, and as advice,
like save you some time.
Save you some time and save you a friendship if you don't want to go through bad things with your friends. While you're feeling those feelings, really give yourself time to reflect.
And something I want to say is like favoritism in a friend group. If you're saying like they're favoring other people besides you, like why is it so important for you to be favored in that friend group?
Validation.
Like why? Think about it. Like why is it so important for you to?
Now we get into nitty gritty.
That's true though. Because I mean, I never thought of it that way. Like why do you feel like you have to be chosen?
Yeah,
and you feel like you got to be center of attention.
Like what is it
about? Your sign a Leo?
Yeah. Like what is it about that person or that friend group that like if they don't favor you, like why does it feel like it's the end of the world, or why does it feel like, oh well, this is an unhealthy relationship, like we can't be friends no more? Like why?
True.
Like what validation are you looking for from them? And like Satiana said, why can't you give that validation to yourself?
And that's why I think it comes to like a whole more of an internal thing.
It is. Like, it kind of is.
Like you really want somebody else to like fill that void for you rather than doing it yourself. So maybe that's why you're seeking for their attention. You're seeking for the outsiders, you know, approval or whatever it may be. You know what I mean? And I mean, I get it gets lonely, but I think this whole thing called life is all about learning and growing how to become yourself. How do you know what I'm saying?
Friendships come and go.
And friendships, and yes, they play a vital point in your life, but at the end of the day, it all comes back to a reflection of yourself. So really be thinking about that rather than thinking that it's them, you know, like why are you feeling like
why am I feeling
the way people treat you is a reflection of them, not you.
Yes,
that is
that part.
Amen. That need to go on a shirt.
The other part. So that's the favoritism part. I feel
the other part that I do want to touch on is healthy and unhealthy expectations. I'm gonna just say it right there. The fact that you even have to say healthy and unhealthy expectations, like this is a contract. Like there should be no like expectations that. Like
I think to a certain extent.
Okay. Yes.
I want to give this person like props for awareness.
Yes.
That there's expectations there, and what do you mean by expectations? Right. As far as how much are you, like Val said, comparing, contrasting? Oh, I'm putting in 50 or like 75%
so more,
and they're not. But why?
That's not. If you feel like it's like that, that's not a real true friendship. Because on some days when I'm feeling 20, they gave me 80, and that's okay. And vice versa, other way around. I don't think we've ever had where
it shouldn't have to feel like work,
like a contract, like what I'm saying, like
it shouldn't have to feel
like an obligation.
You know, it does not. It shouldn't have to feel like an obligation. Like true friendships, and we have an episode called True Friendships. I think it was episode 3, 2 or 3. Two, because 3 is toxic. So I think we touched base on true friendships, and we touched a little bit about how that the 20-80 thing. You know, like you don't always have to give them 100 all the time and expect 100 back. You know what I mean? Like you shouldn't really have to. And but then again, what Tatiana just said is like, you know, like. What did you say about the expectation thing? Like, yes, for awareness and about like being what's the word? Going off a tangent here. My brain.
For awareness, like props to you for having awareness, but there shouldn't be like
your worth, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, like I feel like if it feels like that, like you're doing too much, and you're like,
it shouldn't have. It should come like natural and easy. Like a real friendship should come natural and easy. You shouldn't feel like you have to like
think about it,
or like tiptoe and just to ask a question or just to ask for help or whatever. You know,
like, oh my god, like I helped her throw her birthday party, and now she's not even gonna do it for me. Like blah blah blah, like that type of thing.
That's not real friendship. That's not real friendship.
And I feel like Sadie said, if it's a real true friendship, like honestly, the healthy and unhealthy expectations, like that shouldn't even be like in the back of your mind. Like true friendships is knowing that like, you know, like I'm gonna get you, and like if you don't get me, that's okay. Like maybe next week, like you can get me, and then like I won't be able to get you. You know, like true friendship is it should be effortless.
Yes, effortless. Now, in a way, now that you're saying that, I think from our request listener person, if you mean as in like you're just like giving, helping your friend all the time, and your friend doesn't really do any at all.
Oh yeah,
that's still not a true
that's
friendship.
Different. That's not a true friendship.
That's not a friend at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's a user. That's a user. That's a abuser. That's a
abuser.
You need to step away from that because they are literally clearly using you.
So I didn't think about it from that end.
Right,
I think we were thinking about it on a different.
No, but that's
because maybe this is what this person is referring to. Like, oh well, I mean, I'm continuously. I'm
like,
always
I'm
there
committed.
for her.
I'm committed, but they're not.
But they never really show or maybe even check up on me.
They don't show up for me when I need them.
Yes. So if that's the case, then remove yourself. Run, sis. Run.
No, that sounds like run.
No, but that's a good point because and I know this is like, it's so broad what we're saying about, and like we say things on different spectrums, but like some people just don't have good intentions in your life
at all.
Like they really don't. And some people, when they see that you're just a giver and that you're patient and kind,
they will take advantage of it every single time.
Yeah, and I think if you're talking about in that sense for expectations, healthy and unhealthy, like if you're already thinking about that, like, oh, maybe this isn't healthy,
it's a red flag, bro. That's a red flag.
If you're already like, man, I'm putting all this energy and like I'm really like being a good friend, and they're not even giving you like an ounce of that.
And it's okay to take a step back and walk away. Yeah. And it's okay to feel sad about doing that. And it's okay to feel mad about doing that because, I mean, like, nobody wants a friendship to end or any type of relationship in that sense because it's like you don't go into it thinking, oh, well, we're going to be friends for like 2 weeks and then that's it. Like, you know?
And And if anything, it tells you a lot about yourself. You are a genuine person. You mean well, you know, with a pure heart. And if that person is not returning any of it at all, then that's their loss. And yes, like Val said, it's sad because you expect it to be, you know, have a good friendship with this person or whoever it may be. And if it didn't turn out that way, then, you know, you just kind of have to bury it and accept it
reevaluate.
and move on.
You got to put yourself first. Put yourself first. And, you know, let it go, step away from it, and like once you step away from it, like it won't be as cloudy, and you'll be more clear-minded about how much you have given and how much of a genuine person you are. And it's okay to walk away from any type of relationship, friendship, romantic, whatever, but in this sense we're talking about friendship. But
I think that also brings us to our next point, like friendship breakups.
Yes.
Honestly, disclaimer, it's probably the worst type of breakup you'll ever have.
It is almost worse than a freaking romantic relationship, bro.
I'm gonna say it is worse.
It is. I think it is.
I think because like us as women, we put so much into our friendships. It's literally like, it basically is sisterhood.
It is. I was gonna say girlhood, sisterhood.
Like it's you give them 100 and like 50 million%, and it's like you give your blood, sweat, and tears. They know your
like
good,
your whole
bad,
entire life. They know
the good, the bad, the ugly. Like, you know, you really give, and I think it's vice versa. I mean, both parties. You know, you're really like, when you're really in the trenches, and then it just doesn't work out. Like it's, oh man, it's. I don't wish that on anybody.
Have you guys ever had any friendship breakups that you want to speak on?
I have. I
think I have one too, but it was a while ago. But let's start.
Okay, can I go first?
Yes, please.
So the
sun's coming out.
Oh, the sun is coming out. So yeah, I have had a friendship with a girl. I've told you guys this about before, but we basically have you know, kids the same age, like our husbands like hung out together, and like she was really, really a bestie of mine. And it's just like having someone that really knows like your good and bad, and just, you know, we have so many things in common, you know, and then having like something happen to where we can't be friends anymore, and it's just like the circumstances didn't allow us to be friends.
It sucks, huh? Like
I'm not gonna lie, like I do really, it's kind of a weird feeling because like
you miss them.
You miss them being there, and it's like at some moments when something happens, I'm like, oh my god, like that was so funny. Like it reminds me of like our memories that we had,
times that you guys
and I'm just like, dang, like I just wonder like if that person was still in my life, like how we would be right now, you know, like. But then you have to also remember, it's kind of like a bittersweet feeling. It's like you can, like Sadie said in the last episode, like you can like allow yourself to feel that emotion, but then you have to remember, don't dwell on it, or just let it go. And so I allow myself to feel sad in that moment, and allow myself to be like, damn, like I wish we would still be besties. Like I wish our kids and our husbands would still like play together and whatever. But it's like, I try to let myself feel that, and then it's like, if I'm not feeling it, then that means I've gotten over it. And it's just kind of like a bittersweet when I see things that remind me of that friendship or of that period of my life. Especially Snapchat memories. Oh my god, bro! It's like
those are the worst.
It's like PTSD. I'm like, oh shit! Like that was such a. It feels like such a different lifetime ago.
Yes,
like a different version of you.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't remember it, but I do miss like the togetherness and like the feeling of sisterhood. So it is kind of bittersweet, but you know, I think just like life, you gotta move on.
Because
like the love, it's kind of crazy because it's like when we see each other, it's like we know that the love is still there.
Yeah,
but it's like, it's never gonna be that anymore.
It's never gonna be the same.
But you know that it's like a respect thing.
Yes.
That it's always that what we have was great and awesome, but it's never ever gonna be like that ever again.
Wow.
I think that's exactly like kind of how I feel about like my friendship breakup too. Like, we had falling out. We didn't talk for I think like a year. Yeah, I think we didn't talk for like a year, and we used to be like, the sun is coming out for real. But it makes me happy
because we're talking about this topic.
Yes. Thank you, God. It's healing for us, God.
But, yeah, me and this friend, we hung out a lot, like almost every day. Had a lot of hobbies together. We were in each other's lives at very, very low, dark times for each other. And my life, I was a really low moment, and she was there for me. And when she was going through something really, really hard, I was there for her. And we really,
almost like you guys trauma bonded.
We really kind of did. Like if we really think about it,
gives me the ick.
And so we hung out like almost every day, and then we just like stopped hanging out for like over a year.
Cold turkey.
Yeah. Like cold turkey, literally
cold turkey,
like over a year. And then we just met up for dinner like a month ago, kind of to have like a closure
Has it been
talk.
a month already? Wow.
Yeah, so we had closure talk like a month ago, and like it was, not gonna lie, it was like awkward at first whenever we
I wonder.
met.
I wonder.
Yeah, I was like, hey, I like touching my phone and looking at the menu.
I was wondering,
you know. But then like we were
What's
like
the 411?
no, we were eating and then we were talking and then like we cried. Like I cried, she cried, and like we just
The waiter's probably like, what the fuck is that?
No, we were crying and then the waiter would walk by like, do you need more chips or something?
Did you see that video on TikTok where they're like, when you're at a dinner trying to catch up with someone and you're crying, you're like, I just feel like I take the number 4.
That's literally what it was like. That's literally what it was like.
We'll insert it on our Instagram stories so you guys know what Sadie's talking about.
Hilarious.
Literally, that's what it was like. He was like, and like I ordered like a mango margarita, right? And I was like crying. And I was like, I was like trying to like not make it obvious I was crying. And then he comes back and he's like mango margarita, and I was like, yes. I was like, that's for me.
I'll take that. Sorry, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Gracias,
I kind
señor.
of want to do that and I just experienced that because I feel like it'd be fucking funny.
It was like, which I'm kind of glad it was like that because it kind of kept the vibe
light.
like
It made it
more
light.
like chill,
Like,
you know?
lighthearted.
Yeah, and so it wasn't so like sad. So the vibe was nice and chill. No, yeah.
Okay, shots.
A shot of tequila. But no.
So that was.
So yeah, we talked and like I cried, she cried, and I think we were. For me, I was okay and ready to be at a point for us to like had that conversation like earlier, like a lot earlier. I was already ready,
but maybe she wasn't.
But she wasn't, and so she reached out to me to have that closure dinner, which I'm glad she did because I think she was at a point in time in her life where she was ready for that. Which I'm glad that she did reach out. That way we could both kind of close this chapter in our lives. So we met up, we had dinner, we cried, and like we both kind of talked about how like we were sad that we missed out on a lot of things in that 1 year of each other's lives, but then like at the same time it was like it was good for us.
Yeah.
It needed for us.
Needed to grow.
That's like a big mutual respect.
Yes, I really
for sure.
appreciate
Like because we literally went a year without talking to each other, and like so a lot has happened in that 1 year. But we're on good terms now. But we both know that like the friendship, like you said, the friendship will never be the same. But like we know to be like cordial, like we're still like friends, but not like friends like how we used to be, and we both know that and accept that. And like it's a very bittersweet moment, like Satiana was saying, but like you just kind of know that the friendship will never be the same. Yeah, just gotta roll with it. And friendships come and go. So like for that chapter in my life, like she was the person for me, and I was the person for her. And like moving forward, like like we still will be there for each other, but not in that same sense.
And I think like for the listener and viewer who requested this, I think you also have to remember that if you choose to have or go through with the friendship breakup per se, or it does happen where it just does it by itself, where you guys just don't, like Val did, like cold turkey, and you guys just, it's kind of mutual and you guys just don't hang out anymore. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. Yeah. It sucks. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's gonna suck and it's gonna sting for a while. But honestly, there's more to life. Like you will meet more new people and
that are meant for you. That will truly, like in the beginning, like we were saying, like if you feel like you're giving 110% and they're not doing that, there are people out there that will do that for you. That will be your 80 when you're at a 20.
Yeah. So I have an example for this. Go ahead. What you just said. What is it? Okay. So friend breakup. I think I had one back in like ending in high school. I had so it was like a while ago when I was a little bit younger, but I mean it was still a little hard, back then. Obviously it didn't hit me as hard because I was kind of like a barely an adult, I guess. So, but then, I mean, and I did feel sad at the time whenever I had that friend breakup. And I'm like, I was like, I didn't expect this, but I'm like, whatever. And that friend, it was in that situation, I think, now that's a favoritism thing right there. I think now that I'm thinking about it.
It's coming back.
It's coming back.
The memories.
Yes, apparently, I think she felt like I was favoritizing like another person, over her, So then, but then, and from my point of view, I never saw like that. Like you said, it was never intentional.
It was just
it was never intentional, And then so whenever she, she gave it all, laid it on the table. I'm like, I never knew that. I'm so sorry. But then I mean, eventually, we went our separate ways. So I respected that, I'm like, okay, I mean, this sucks. So I respect your wishes. And then we stopped talking for a while too. And then years pass. I mean, we're cordial now, just like you and y'all's situations. We're cordial. We'll say hi to each other, and I still have love for that person too, and vice versa, I'm sure. So that's that. But then an example of like friendships where like in the beginning y'all are my example, because I've known y'all since like we were like 14, 15, and at one point in life, whenever y'all both went and got married, we stopped talking for the longest time. I want to say at least literally, a good 2 years. Maybe.
Literally, like, I mean, radio silence.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't like not talk at all, but then we literally just never hung out.
Did we still have our group chat?
No, we never had a group chat, sis. We never had a group chat until
we didn't have one until
because. Dude, recently. I can't remember. I think maybe Val went and got married.
How did we make the group chat?
I got married, and then Satana was doing her own thing already.
Yeah, I was
and
like
so then you were doing your own thing.
It was
I was in the trenches.
I want to say it was a good, with our friendship, I want to say it was a good 2 to 3 years almost that we didn't like hang out at all. Yeah. Like we'll see each other on Facebook or see each other here and there, like say hi, but that was it. And then like years later, something brought us back together. So that, in my opinion, is like a friendship that's meant to be in our lives. You know, like the universe brought us back together, and now we're like closer than ever. We're like up each other's asses all the time, and we love that. You know, and I think that's an prime example, because at one point I literally thought that they were that type of friendship where, oh, I grew up with them here and there, and we were really close at one point, but whatever, we're all living our own lives now. I literally thought that, and I was okay with that because it didn't really affect me as much. And like I did miss our old friendships and our dumb little times when we worked together. But then, I mean, that was that. I already like, you know, accepted it, and I moved on, and I made new friends, and other friend groups. I want to say ever since then I've never really made any other friends where it's like a short term. I feel like I haven't, at least, because every other friends I've made, then they're my friends till today, long term. Yeah. So I don't have a whole lot of that. But then I thought you guys were gonna be one of those. But then, I mean, obviously, clearly now, you know, the universe brought us back together, and we're meant to be together. So who knows? Maybe this is also a time where that person in your life might just be like, maybe you just need. Maybe it's a break. Maybe the universe is trying to tell you that you guys do just need a break, and you need to grow on your own, because throughout those times when I was not with them, I grew up on my own. And
I think all three of us individually we were at such all different times in our lives, and I think I really do like resonate with that same thing where it's like, you know, like you kind of just like come to terms with it, like it was what it was, but it's like not a big deal, and you're just like focusing on myself. And maybe, like you said, maybe that's what you need to do. Maybe that's what is meant to happen, and maybe in the future, if it is a meant to be friendship, you guys will find your way.
It'll circle back around
some way somehow.
And I feel like life is like so long that it's like you still have time to like figure out who you are, either with that friendship or without that friendship. Like you still have time to figure out who you are, because who are you without that friendship? Like, have you thought about it? Like,
that's a big. I know people that like stick to their people, and they're like, I'm no one without them. Like, you know, Usher song where he's like, you got it bad.
When you're on the phone, you hang up and you call right back.
Yeah.
It's kind of,
or like a day without your friend, your whole life's off track. Like,
I know a lot of people like that still, even till today, and because you depend so much on that person, you know. And like you say, you like, who are you without them? Like, what do you like? You're like, okay, well, if my friend's not available, I don't know what to do with my life. Like, I know people like that, and honestly, guys, that's
not the way to live.
That is not healthy. That is not healthy.
You need to have individuality.
Yes. Individuality. That's
and sometimes you know, you just need to, like I said, have some kind of break to grow on your own.
Like, it's okay. Like it sucks when you're figuring out friend stuff, because I feel like, especially if you're not married or anything, you feel like you're so like you have nothing else going for you.
Right.
You have nothing else. And honestly, you got to be there for yourself too. You got to remember, at the end of the day, like, even though you're in friendships and trying to figure things out, like, you're missing out on giving that energy and
into yourself,
back to yourself. Like, you deserve to have that too, and it shouldn't always be dependent on what friendship is best for me. When friendship, you know, like it starts within you.
I think a part of it is just like learning how to grow on your own. And I get it, and I try to really think about like people's backgrounds and how they grow up, right? Like, where some people are so much more used to always having someone there, versus someone who was so used to growing up kind of being on their own. You know what I mean?
Yeah, alone. Yeah,
alone. So I feel like, you know, you need to be able to experience both, but the most important part is just really on your own. Especially, I feel like that's the harder part, self-growth. That's the harder route to go, but everybody's got to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Going to the next question, she says, do y'all believe in misters before sisters?
Wait, sisters before
misters before sisters? So bros.
No, I think
I think she meant sisters before Mr.
Do you believe in misters before sisters? Like the guy before girl?
Yeah, I think she means like a significant other.
First of all, hold on. Pause the tape there. Misters before sisters. I say neither. Yourself before either or.
Yeah.
Period.
Yourself before either or.
And honestly, even after that, they're on the same level.
They're on the same level.
You cannot
put one above the other.
You cannot. You cannot do that.
Can't. I thought I know people that are like that sometimes, and I think that's so weird. Weird vibes.
It's weird energy.
Do you sis? Do you booba or bro? But I find that weird because
it is weird.
And then there's people. No offense, but then more of.
Husband gets a plate before the kids,
and I'm just like, bro, why? ¿Por qué? Like, no. Like, everything, just make it equal. You know, it can be a happy family. Like, nobody before anybody.
Yourself,
but if anything, yourself before anybody.
Yes, but I would say same level. Because if they are people that you truly love and care for, that are essential to your life, they should
never make you feel like you gotta be like, oh, you have to sisters before sisters. I don't know which I'm gonna pick.
Because guys, I don't know what I would be without Val and Sadie.
Yeah.
Nor I don't know what I would be without my husband. Like they both give me love and support, but on different types of love and support.
Yes, there can be different types of love.
Yep.
And like, now that you're saying that, like, I would never ask you like me or Danny. Like, that's just weird.
I can't.
Like, I could never. Like, and because I know that there's different types of love and support. Like you said, Danny loves you and supports you in a different way that I can.
Yes.
And I love and support you in a different way, totally different way than Danny can.
It's different.
And I would never ask her that.
I'm like,
when you say it like that,
you want Brian or you want me and Val?
Yeah.
It's just.
Like, I would want both in your life.
Yes.
Like, I would want both because I know that in your life, it's essential to have both.
And on the flip side, if a man is asking you either him or your friends,
you better
cut the man.
And if your friend's asking us or your boyfriend, cut them off. Like,
no,
that is not healthy.
Like, true friendship is knowing that, like,
they support you.
Everybody is equally as important to make your life happy and to make you have a better life.
And to honestly, to make you who you are. Like, if they are a vital part of your life, they should never ever make you feel.
If they ever make you feel like that, then you just gotta drop them, sis. You gotta
drop them. That's gonna be our tagline for this episode. Drop them.
But I just want to say to this person, like, I don't know if we're touching on the topics or
specific
or like the perspectives on how you're wanting us to, just because it's kind of hard for us to,
like, see, it's very broad.
It's very broad, so it's kind of hard for us to decipher like in which perspective that you're asking from, just because, like Sadie said, it is very broad. But
we're trying our best to get it both or all kinds from all perspectives.
So but for me, I would say, if they're misters or sisters, neither. Like, you should never have to pick.
If you feel like you're in that situation, then reevaluate. Don't talk to that person that's making you feel like that.
Sorry, go ahead.
And or I don't know, are you feeling like that? Are you feeling like you have to choose whether your girls or your boyfriend or your man's or whatever? If you feel like that, then it has to be because of one or the other, right?
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, it has to be because of one or the other. So they should never ever make you feel like that. And like Valerie said, at the end of the day, you before anybody.
For sure.
You have to put yourself first before anything and anybody.
Yeah, and it just seems like you're going through a lot with friendships, and it seems like a mixture.
Relationship.
And like relationships, like friendship and romantic relationships. It just seems like you're going through a lot. And maybe you're like asking so that way you can probably hear an answer that you want to hear. But
honestly, let's be real. When someone's asking for advice, you already know deep down what you're gonna do,
what you need, and what you want.
You just want to hear the perspective and angles of someone else. But what we can tell you is our own experiences, which we've told you today. It's just you've already made your decision, so I think just be confident in what your decision is
and how you feel.
Yeah, and how you feel.
Be
because
intentional
honestly,
with it too.
Intentional, because even if you don't think it's right in this moment, maybe a couple years later or a few months down the road, you'll see that what you did was good for you or bad for you,
right?
And you can just learn from it.
Yeah,
and adjust from that. Yes, and adjust from that, because
it's okay. It's okay.
Whether you decide to go this route or that route, already Some of them you might know the outcome, and some of them you might not. But it's all a learning process.
And it makes you who you are. So don't feel like just because you're making a decision to, you know, with this friendship, or if you're having troubles with a relationship, like don't feel like that's going to define you, because it's literally like a sliver of your life, and honestly will make you grow as a person.
Well, and as an example, like what you said earlier, you admitted that you used to be a negative Nancy.
Yes.
Like that is so, that is the first step of growth right there, being able to admit
accountability.
That, accountability. Like, I really was a better person back then. Because a lot of people will still not admit, you know what I'm saying? Like they can't admit that.
You have to.
And
like, I respect,
I respect people that are able to actually admit and take accountability for that, you know? So
yeah, and I think if you're like going through that much, I think right now what's best for you is just to detach from everything and just take a minute or like months to just be with yourself and your thoughts, because if you are going through a lot, like the best way to go through anything like that relationship wise is to sit alone with yourself and your thoughts. That way you have time to listen to whatever your mind is saying without any other judgment or any other opinions and stuff. And like Satiana said, you already, like, let's be honest, you really already know what you're gonna do. Yeah. Like deep down, you already know what's right and wrong. You already know what you're gonna do.
You already have an inkling of what you want to do.
Yeah, or you already know like which route you're gonna take. Yeah. It's just like you love to hear other people's opinions and stuff, but then like don't let other people's opinions and thoughts influence whatever it is you're gonna do or say. Because like anytime I'm in a situation like that and I tell Satiana and Sadie something, like they'll say their thoughts and opinions, but then they'll be like, but whatever you do, it's on you, because like you already know.
Saying that whenever you give your friends advice, but at the end you always have to add that. But that's just I don't know. Just like don't take it literally.
Don't take my word for it.
Because some people they will just do whatever it is their friends say or do whatever it is the other people's opinions say, which sucks, because then you're living life off of other people's. Like you're not making your own choices.
Now, like, I mean, with our suggestions and our advices, you can like, use it to help you make a finalized decision, but then, don't just take a decision on that, like think about what
just use it as a guide.
Yes, exactly.
Don't take it word for word, because your life is your life in the end, and it's not my life, it's not Val's, it's not Sadie's, and our experiences are our own personal experiences. Your experience is not going to be specifically like each of ours. Everybody's I would just say take it with a grain of salt. And I really hope that you find peace within this situation, and I really hope that you are a little bit give yourself some grace for all the hard stuff, because life is not easy, and especially friendship issues, it really does drain you mentally and physically and emotionally, and I hope that you come to a place where you're able to heal from that.
So we hear you, and we're here for you.
We hear you,
and thank you for submitting the prompts,
the request.
Absolutely.
And hope that we were able to help you in some way
or form, hopefully shed some light on the struggles that you're going through. And
DM us, let us know how it goes. Keep us
again, it's gonna be anonymous. Like, even though you send us like this request, we're not gonna say your name.
For sure.
Everything stays anonymous, so we just want to know how things go, and let us know, like Sadie said, DM us if everything went smoothly, and if you ever need any type of support, we're always here for you.
Absolutely.
As always,
we upload a new episode every Monday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Don't forget to follow us at 116th Hotline on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, and TikTok. And we will see you guys in the next episode. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and DM us your next idea.
Any more requests? Anything else you want to hear about?
We love you guys so much for the interactions.
Thank you guys so much.
Here's a challenge. I really want to hear something out of the box, like something that's like we've never really heard of before. Anything. It can be weird. It can be whatever. I mean, like, that's the challenge for you listeners.
We're open book.
We really are.
Give us a challenge.
Yes.
So thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys next week for a new episode. Bye.